Hi everyone, it's Denise from Paper Pastime. I'm just going to quickly show you how to assemble my gingerbread box. It goes together really simple. The gable and the chimney are just a little different and I didn't want to have to try and write out the instructions, so I just thought I would show you. Here it is. It's a good sized box. It does open. There's quite a bit of room in there. I'm sure it would hold some A2 cards. It would hold cookies. I'm sure there's lots of things we can use it for this holiday season. This is, the windows were from the Christmas cartridge. I just cut those out. This is a drippy goo SVG file. I don't have the punch, but that's what I used. It does make it a pain to open it and close it without crinkling it all up, but whatever. All right, let's get started. Get my score pal. The box itself is in two pieces because it's larger. I've already gone ahead and scored them, but I just want to show you what to do quickly. Basic box assembly. You need to score along your flap. You need to score here. Score this, your little flap. You can see when you actually have the cut file. There's a little tiny indentation where it needs to go. This, it's along your flap right there. The trickier parts are your triangle. There's a little tip right here, and it just needs to line this corner and that little tip up. You just want a triangle to show in here. These are just flaps. Your flaps on the bottom. Then your other page right here is the same thing. It's shaped a little different, but that's what you're going to do. Then we just have to fold all of our score lines. Okay, I have everything scored and folded. One thing that I didn't point out was this score line right here. That's your center roof line. There's not a mark for it. It's 3 1/4 inches from either this edge or this edge. It's just in the middle. So you can just line this up like this and see where the point is and make a mark, and that's where it needs to be scored. Okay, so now we just need to adhere the two sections together. I'm going to put adhesive on this flap. Make sure both of your peaks are going the same way. You might find it easier to adhere these together before you fold your score lines, just to make sure everything's going the right way. I put a new roll of tape in and it's sticking. I don't know what's the matter with it. It's got all these little frayed pieces also. Hope it's not going to be a bad roll. There, it seems to be working now. Just line those up. Okay, now we just need to put adhesive on our bottom flaps. I know this looks kind of weird, but to do this on a 12 by 12 piece of paper, there wasn't enough room to make the flaps more equal, so I just made them short on there and big on here. Works fine for me. So you're going to put adhesive on these bottom, not this flap, these three. And then you're going to put adhesive just on these inner flaps that are next to your lid. This is how I end up with tape all over my score pal. I should just throw it out of the way now, but okay. I don't think I'm doing very well today. I don't know. Not in the mood for a video. All right, so just going to align those. Oh, I didn't put tape on that one. Oops. I thought, oh, that was the other piece. I think maybe I need some more coffee this morning. All right, now we'll line that up. Okay, then you're just going to fold your little flap in. Put the little one in first, the shorter one in. Just kind of line up your edges. And then bring this one in. Turn it right side up. And you can put your hand or your bone folder and just make sure that it's all adhered down. Like I said, it's kind of a weird setup, but it looks fine from the bottom. It's just one nice finished piece. Okay, then for your roof, just going to bring the fold line to your edge. Now this, on my box that I did, I used the craft paper, which is kind of textured and heavy. The ATG gun really isn't holding that well. I would use sticky strip just on this one. It held fine on the rest of the box, but just for a little bit better there, I think that's what I would do. Tuck that in, do the same thing on that side. And you might want to fold this back and forth a few times just to make sure, because that's going to be your hinge where you open your box. And then it just tucks in. I haven't put this one together. This was my DS box. One I made was my scale file, so that worked pretty good. All that's left is we need to do our chimney and our little gable window in the front. And these are what I really wanted to show you because they look a little odd and it might be a little different than some of the stuff we've done. I'm going to zoom in so you can kind of really see what I'm talking about when we score these. I don't have actual score marks on the file, but if you look, can you see that? There's a little point here. This is basically going to look, you're going to score a triangle into it. So you just need to take the point and this point and just line it up along your straight edge, and then you're just going to score it. And the same thing on the bottom, just line that up. You're drawing a triangle with your score lines. That's what it needs to look like when it's done. Okay, there. And then this outer piece, you're just going to line up your point. Oh, sorry, I forgot I'm zoomed in. There you go, line up your point and you're going to score down the center. And then you're just going to score along your flaps, and you're going to, once again, you're going to have a triangle for those two. So we've got those scored. Let me show you the chimney before I zoom back out. Let's see, the easiest way to do this is the side without this funky little angled piece, this triangle part. You're going to start here. You're going to score that first one at 3/4 of an inch. So if you're using your score pal, can't really see that. It doesn't have the little, just slide it over to 1/4 inch and score it on the one. Then the next two, you're just going to score on either side of this little flap. So that's easy. Do that. Slide it over, do that. And this one, last one, line up your point with a score line and score that. Then you need to turn it, and you just need to score your little flaps right there. Now, we also need to cut off this funky little point just from there. You don't need that. This is just your little flap. And just cut the very tip off. It'll line up a little better. You might have to just trim that as you fold it. I don't know. Geometry was not a good subject for me. I guess I should have paid more attention. I didn't know I would need it for crafting later. Okay, let's get the score pal out of the way. And we'll zoom back out a little bit. We don't need to be quite this close. Now we just need to fold. Do our chimney first. And fold your two little flaps. Okay. Adhesive's going to go on the outer flap. And then just, I'm stuck. Your two little flaps. I'm just going to line up your edge. And these two little flaps, and this is how it's going to stick to your house. Bring our box back over. You want this on the side that's fixed, not the side that's going to open. And don't put it up too close to the center because that will interfere with your lid opening. So just eyeball where you'd like it. Put your finger inside or your bone folder and just push those down. And then there you have your, you see it, your little chimney on. That one's crooked, but just because I'm hurrying for the camera. Okay, there. Now we need to do our little gabled window or dormer, or whatever you want to call it. Fold your flaps in. Same thing on this one. You're going to put adhesive on all of these flaps. Hopefully my gun will work. I hate it when it winds around the spool. Okay. Now, maybe I should zoom in for this too. Sorry, my skills at videoing aren't that great. So you're just going to take the top point of this and fit it into there. You can let it overhang a little bit so it gives you like your eaves. Just going to fit it in. And just adhere it down. And make sure your flaps fold in. Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot again. Sorry. Okay. And just bring your box over. Put it where you'd like. Now open out the lid once you know where you want it, and then you can push from behind and really get it stuck on there good. Now in the file there's actually an extra piece that you can use for the roof for an overlay. It's cut just a little bit bigger so you have an overhang, and I ran mine through the Cuddle Bug on this one. I ran it, can you see? And then I cut this triangle piece out of that same color, and I did this out of the blue for the windows. But I'm sure you guys have a lot more creative ideas than I do to decorate this. I'm pretty good at making the boxes, but when it comes to finishing them off, I struggle there a little bit. Well, I hope you found this useful, and I hope you enjoy it. Thank you again. Bye-bye.